At a family gathering, my dad lifted his glass and declared, "Let's all raise a glass to my son, the loser who can't keep a job, still crashes on my couch and only shows up to stuff his face for free." Everyone burst out laughing. My uncle shouted, "Maybe next year he'll bring a paycheck." I just smiled, then slipped away before the group photo, pretending I had a call. Later, I heard my cousins whispering about me in the hallway, betting on how long I'd last at my next career. Years later, he sent a voice message, "Please just call me back, I'm still your dad." I laughed because he finally realized what I had done. I don't know if this will be interesting to people here, but I just need to get it off my chest. This is one of those things you never think you'll end up typing out, but here we are. I'm Brock, 28, and I'm the guy in the family everyone quietly expects to fail. It's not even in a mean way, most days it's just background noise at holidays. Brock's the one who can't get it together, can't keep a place, doesn't have a steady thing going, whatever. Yeah, I've bounced around a bit, lived with my dad and Vicky, that's my mom, off and on, mostly because I got priced out of my last apartment. But apparently that makes me some kind of leech in their eyes. I help out, I'm not a total loss. Anyway, the whole thing starts at this dumb family reunion my dad, Barry, decided to throw. He's been weird about family stuff since 2020, acting like if he can just get everyone together, it'll make up for other stuff. He lost a lot during the lockdown and never got over it. I'm pretty sure that's part of why he's always on my case. He sees me as a reflection of his own mess. He rented out this community center, which was honestly kinda sad. The walls are this weird beige that looks like a dirty Band-Aid, there's a buffet, some folding tables. My uncle Ruben is there in a shirt that looks like he's about to hit the golf course. I walk in and the first thing I notice is everyone's already there. Literally everyone. Cousins, aunts, even Gina and Juniper, who usually skip this stuff unless there's free drinks. I'm late because my rideshare drops me off at the wrong entrance, and I don't feel like explaining that to anyone. I'm wearing my usual, nothing fancy, but I'm not gross or anything. My dad's already got this thing going where he's bouncing between tables, pouring wine. He doesn't usually drink, but he's got a full glass and his voice is way too loud. Right off, I can tell something's off. People keep looking at me and then looking away, especially my cousins. Juniper's whispering to Gina, and they both look down at their phones. I just ignore it, get some food, sit near the window. Vicky tries to say hi, but she's got that look like she wants to say something but doesn't know how to start. About an hour in, people are finishing their food and my dad suddenly clinks his glass. I swear I get a bad feeling in my stomach, like I know what's coming. He stands up, makes this big deal about how he wants to make a toast, and everyone's already grinning. I can see Ruben nudging his wife like he's in on the joke. Dad says, "Let's all raise a glass to my son Brock, the guy who can't hold down a job, still crashes on my couch and only shows up to stuff his face for free." No one even hesitates, everyone just laughs, not a little, like people are straight up dying. Ruben yells out, "Maybe next year he'll bring a paycheck." Vicky makes this weird face and looks at her lap but doesn't say anything. I just sit there, smile, because what else do you do? Not like I'm going to start screaming at a room full of people who already think I'm a joke. I hear Gina say something about how maybe I'll last longer than 2 months this time, and Juniper just goes, "Want to bet?" I can feel my hands clench under the table. I want to say something, but I know if I start I'll just give them more ammo. So, I stand up, act like I'm getting a call, put my phone to my ear and walk out the side door. No one tries to stop me. In the hallway, I hear my cousins talking about me again, like they're not even trying to be quiet. Gina says she heard I slept through an interview last month, which isn't even true, and Juniper goes, "Who cares? He'll just find somewhere else to crash." I stand there listening, think about going back in, but then I hear Ruben and Barry in the kitchen. Barry is saying he just wishes I'd figure my life out so he doesn't have to keep making excuses. Ruben says maybe if I got cut off I'd finally get it together. I walk outside and just sit on the curb, scroll through my phone, don't even know who to text. I think about calling a friend, but it's a Sunday and everyone's busy. After like 15 minutes, I see the group starting to gather for a photo through the window. I can hear someone calling my name, but I don't go back in. I just keep walking, walk 2 blocks before I call a rideshare, and I don't even go home. I go to this guy's place I know from the gym. He's not even a close friend, but he's got a couch and doesn't ask questions. I crash there that night, don't answer any calls from Vicky, and block Barry's number for a week. For the next few days I keep replaying the whole thing in my head. I keep thinking about how Barry used to actually have my back before he lost his business, before everything went to hell for him. Now he just acts like every problem in his life is my fault, and if I'm not failing, then he's got no one to blame but himself. I decide I'm done letting them laugh at me. I start making notes in my phone, stuff I know about Barry and Ruben, stuff they wouldn't want out there. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I know I'm not just going to sit around and take it anymore. They want to humiliate me in front of everyone? Fine, I'll show them what that feels like. Anyway, that's how it started. People want to know what happens next, let me know. I got plenty more. Update 1. Alright, so here's part 2 since I guess a lot of people wanted the follow-up. Yeah, I didn't expect this much interest, but whatever. Maybe it helps to just type the whole thing out. If you missed part 1, basically, my dad Barry roasted me in front of the whole family at this reunion, made me the butt of every lazy joke, Uncle Reuben piling on, cousins betting how long I'd last at my next career. All of it. I left, didn't even stick around for the group photo, blocked Barry for a week. I'm still mad typing this, honestly. After that, I kinda went ghost for a bit. I'd crash at this dude's place who barely asked questions, just let me crash on the couch, real chill. I wasn't checking family group chats, just doom scrolling on my phone, ignoring missed calls from Vicky. I knew if I picked up, she'd do the whole "your dad didn't mean it, he's just stressed" routine, and I couldn't listen to that right then. But here's where it got weird. Maybe a week after the reunion, Vicky texts me real short, just says, "Can you come get your mail?" I walk over, it's close enough. I see Barry's truck isn't there. Good, I don't want to see him. Vicky's at the door, looks tired, hands me a stack of mail, and says she hopes I'm okay but doesn't push or anything. I just say thanks and leave. In the mail there's this one envelope that stands out, not a bill, not spam. It's from this lawyer's office and I almost throw it away, but I open it. Turns out my great-aunt Brenda, she was always cool with me, not really close to Barry, passed and left me some money, not like millions but enough to not worry about rent for a long time, maybe more if I'm smart with it. No one else in the family knew about it yet, just me. So, I sit on it for a bit, don't tell anyone, just keep my head down and let Barry and Reuben keep thinking I'm broke. Meanwhile, I start remembering all the little things Barry and Reuben used to say about great-aunt Brenda, how she was the crazy old bat and how she'd never leave anything to me, blah blah. I know for a fact Barry's been banking on an inheritance from her, like literally planning for it, telling people how he'll finally get his head above water. It's always about money with him now, after he lost most of his savings. He's been weird, like desperate not to look like a failure, always comparing himself to Reuben or even his own son, which I guess is part of why he's so hard on me. If I look like a loser, he feels less like one. I keep things quiet but start to notice little things. Barry suddenly starts acting nice, like super weirdly nice, offering to help me find work or introduce me to people. He even brings up this idea for some business thing, says if I come into any money we could partner up. I almost laugh in his face but I just nod, let him talk. I know what he's doing. Reuben, meanwhile, starts texting me about how family needs to stick together and maybe we should patch things up. Yeah, right. I start making moves. I take some of the money and look into what I can actually do with it, not just blow it on dumb stuff. I hear through someone at the gym that there's this opening on the board for the community center where Barry always books family stuff. I go to a meeting, no big deal, just show up and listen. Turns out the center's desperate for funding, and if you donate a certain amount, you get a spot on the board and get to help with policies, event bookings, all that. So I do it. I donate, I get on the board, and I don't say a word to anyone about it. At the next family thing, Barry tries to book the center for some birthday, gets told he can't unless he clears a past bill he forgot to pay. He comes home mad, starts blaming Vicky for not keeping track of stuff. Vicky just shrugs, says maybe if he was nicer to people they'd help him out more. Not even defending me, just done with his crap. Then I get these texts from Gina and Juniper, real passive-aggressive, asking if I can help Grandpa get the center booked again because he's really stressed. I just send a thumbs up emoji, don't explain anything. Meanwhile, I start pushing for new policies at board meetings, stuff about disruptive guests, stricter deposit rules, late fees. I know Barry and Reuben are both always late paying for things, always making scenes. A couple of months go by, and Barry tries to throw another reunion, gets denied again. This time he actually shows up at the center, tries to argue with the front desk, and I hear from someone there that he got so loud they almost called security. He comes home, slams the door so hard the frame rattles. Vicky texts me later, says Barry's in a mood, blames me for turning everyone against him. I don't even reply. Next thing I hear from Reuben, he shows up at my gym, acts all friendly, then straight up asks if I can float him some cash because he's in a bind. I laugh, say I'm not in that position. He gets pissed, shoves me in the locker room, says I'm being ungrateful. I push him back, tell him maybe if he didn't treat me like a joke for years I'd care. He storms off, muttering about how I'm just like my dad. Now Barry's getting desperate. He starts telling family I'm holding the center hostage and ruining family tradition. At the next group chat, Gina tries to call me out, says, "It's not fair, I'm making things hard." I just say, "Funny how nobody cared about fair when you were making fun of me." Chat goes quiet, no one replies. Then I get a letter. It's from a different lawyer, not Brenda's. Barry's hired someone to update the family will. Apparently he's cutting me out until I get my act together. Vicky's name is still on it. I just laugh because by this point I've got my own money and I don't need anything from it. After that, Barry stops talking to me except to send the occasional guilt trip text. Ruben avoids me at family stuff. Vicky keeps the peace but doesn't push. The next time there's a family get-together, it's at some sad park, plastic tablecloths, and Barry spends most of it on his phone, ignoring everyone. Gina and Juniper just scroll TikTok together, barely say hi. It's awkward, not dramatic, just everyone pretending things are fine. So now Barry and Ruben are both on the outs and everyone's starting to notice. People ask me what happened and I just say, maybe treat people better if you want them to help you out. Not going to lie, it feels decent seeing them sweat, but I'm not done yet. There's more I can do. People want to hear it, let me know. I've got receipts. Update 2. So yeah, I'm back, and honestly, I didn't even plan to keep posting, but after what happened last week, I kinda want to just lay it all out. If you've read the first 2, you know the deal. Dad Barry humiliated me at the reunion, then tried to get cozy when he thought I had money. I got on the board at the community center, blocked him and Uncle Ruben from booking it, and now everyone's acting weird. It's not like I plotted this whole master plan or anything, I just snapped and started pushing back, and now I guess things are starting to unravel for them. It's weird, you start noticing the shift in little ways. Like, I'll get these random texts from cousins I barely talk to, asking if I know why Barry isn't coming to family dinners anymore. Gina sent me a snap of her and Juniper at some sad pizza night in their kitchen, saying it's not the same without the old man making everyone mad. I honestly almost replied, maybe you should ask him, but I just left it on read. Then I hear from Vicky that Barry has been trying to put together his own family event at a park, but no one's really showing up. Even Ruben's dodging him now, which is honestly hilarious since those two used to tag team every holiday, acting like they were the kings of the family. There's this awkward tension now, like people are realizing the old routine isn't working. I run into Juniper at the grocery store and she barely says anything, just stares at the floor. Then she asks if I'm coming to the next cousin night, but it's so half-hearted I just shrug and say, I'm probably busy. I can tell she wants to say more, maybe ask for help getting Barry back in, but she doesn't. It's funny the way people act when the power dynamic shifts. For so long I was the kid they all made jokes about, and now it's like they don't know what to do with me being the one holding the keys. I'm not even flexing, I just stopped letting them walk over me and suddenly they're all scrambling. Meanwhile Barry's losing it. I hear from Vicky that he's calling around trying to get anyone to take his side. He's pissed that I ruined the family tradition. He tried to organize a birthday thing for one of the little cousins, and when he couldn't book the center, he called the aunt in charge and started yelling. She hung up on him. Then he tried to text me acting like nothing happened, just said, hey, we should talk. I ignored it. Next day he sends this long paragraph about how family is supposed to stick together and maybe he was too hard on me, but I shouldn't take it out on everyone else. I don't respond. It gets worse for him because now people are starting to push back. Ruben's wife Brenda, not the one who left me money, different Brenda, I know, confusing, actually calls out Barry at the next dinner, says maybe if he didn't spend every event trashing people, he'd have more friends. Barry tries to yell, Ruben gets between them, there's some shoving, I hear someone slap someone else, and Vicky leaves early, slamming the door. I see the fallout in the group chat, people picking sides, some saying they're sick of the drama, others blaming me for changing the vibe. I just mute the chat. Then I get this call from an old family friend, like someone who's known Barry for decades. He says, hey, I don't know what's going on, but your dad's calling everyone saying you're destroying the family. I just say, maybe he should think about why I'd even want to do that. The best part is people start asking me what actually happened. Not in a gossipy way, just quietly, like they want to know if there's more to the story. I don't sugarcoat it. I tell them, you remember that reunion? You remember how he treated me? I'm not putting up with it anymore. Most of them just nod. Some look uncomfortable, but no one really argues. I think they all knew on some level, but no one wanted to say anything before. Barry keeps trying though. I get these weird voicemails sometimes, he's apologizing, sometimes he's just mad. I get one where he's literally yelling about how I owe him respect and another where he's like, you're my son, you can't do this to me. I just delete them. Ruben tries to get in touch too, but after that gym thing where he tried to shove me, I just block his number. Gina and Juniper don't reach out directly, just leave comments on old posts like, hope you're good. But I know they're just fishing for info. Even Vicky's different now. She texts me more, asks if I want to come by for dinner, but never mentions Barry. I go over once just to see her, and she says Barry's barely talking to anyone, just sits in his room watching stuff on his tablet all day. The weirdest thing is how fast people forget who was in charge before. Now that Barry and Ruben are out of the picture, there's all this talk about new traditions, keeping the peace. No one brings up the old jokes. No one asks about my job or where I'm living. It's like they finally realized I'm not the problem. I guess the thing that gets me is how easy it was to flip it all. It took was standing up once and not letting them back in. No big speech, no dramatic showdown, just quietly shutting doors in their faces and letting them deal with the mess they made. Last thing that happened, Barry tried to show up at the community center during one of the board meetings. I'm sitting there talking to a couple of other people about a fundraiser, and he walks in like he owns the place. He tries to make a scene, says he wants to talk to the board. I tell him he needs to leave, this isn't the time. He shoves a chair, says he just wants to talk to his son. I tell him, not here, not now. Someone from the staff calls security. He leaves before they show up, but not before yelling that I'm tearing the family apart. I get texts from 3 different family members that night. Some say I should go easy on him, others say I did the right thing. I don't reply to any of them. I'm not looking for votes anyway. That's where things are at now. Barry's out, Ruben's out, I'm not getting dragged into any more family drama, but I have a feeling it's not over, not with the way Barry keeps calling. I checked my phone this morning, 3 missed calls, 2 voicemails. One from Vicky, one from Barry. I didn't listen to either. Not sure what's next, but I'm not letting up. If you want to hear how it ends, just say the word. There's one last thing. Final update. So this is it, last update. Not going to lie, I didn't expect it to land here. If you read the other parts, you know how everything with Barry, my dad, and the rest of them spun out after that reunion. I figured at some point he'd just give up, but nah, the man's stubborn. Honestly, that's probably why things got so bad between us. He's always got to be the one with the last word, the one who looks like he's in control, even when everyone can see it's fake. It's been a while since the stuff at the community center. I kept my spot on the board, kept the new rules in place, kept their names on the troublemaker list. I know, kind of petty, but after all those years of being the family joke, it felt justified. Plus, it wasn't just about me anymore. Other people on the board actually thanked me for making things less chaotic at events. I still get a text now and then from some old neighbors saying, "Thanks for fixing up the place." Wow. Barry and I haven't really talked in years at this point. Sometimes I'd see him in town and he'd look at the ground or just walk the other way. Vicky still invites me for dinner, just her. She's got her own life now, thinks she's quieter, like she finally got tired of playing referee. I go sometimes but never on family holidays, not worth the headache. I hear things through Gina, random Facebook stories, stuff about Barry hanging out at the hardware store, complaining to anyone who'll listen. Ruben's basically a ghost now, not even showing up at the sad park meetups they do. What's funny is nobody calls me a loser anymore. If anything, most of them just act like I'm some weird distant cousin who's off doing his own thing. Fine by me. So the weird part is, after all this time, I start getting these random calls from Barry out of nowhere. For months I just ignored them, voicemails piling up, some angry, some just rambling. Sometimes he calls late at night, leaves a message that sounds like he's been drinking. Then last week he tries again, but this time he actually uses voice messages on Messenger, which is weird because he's always been a text-only dude. I see it pop up while I'm watching something on my phone, almost delete it, but then I just hit play. He starts out sounding tired, like really tired, says he doesn't know how to get through to me, that he's sorry for how things went but he doesn't know how to fix it. He says he misses when things were easy before everyone started picking sides. He says he's still my dad and that he wishes I'd just call him back, just talk to him like we used to, even if I hate his guts. He tries to laugh but it sounds fake. He says he's not good at this stuff, that he screwed up a lot, but he never wanted things to end like this. Then it goes quiet, just breathing for a few seconds, then he says, "Please just call me back. I'm still your dad." I listened to the whole thing just sitting there in my kitchen, phone in one hand, half a sandwich in the other, and I just laughed, not because it was funny but because it finally hit me. He got it. Like, after all those years of making me into the joke, treating me like the family clown, using me as his punchline, he finally realized what it feels like to be on the outside. He finally got what it was like to want something from someone and get nothing back. That's what he never understood. He thought he could keep pushing me down and I'd always bounce back, always play along, but nah, I'm done. I let the message play all the way through, then I deleted it. Didn't bother replying, didn't even think about it for more than a few seconds. Checked my other messages, ordered some food, went about my night. That's the thing, I guess it's not even about getting even anymore. It's just about not letting people mess you up for their own comfort. Barry spent years needing me to be the failure so he didn't look at his own mess. Now he's the one people avoid at family stuff and I'm off the group chat living my own life, not worried about who's talking behind my back. I never did anything crazy for revenge, just used what I had, pushed where it hurt and didn't back down. That's enough. So yeah, that's the end. Not a happy ending, but it's real and I'm good with that.